spreads all sorts of propaganda. And now he's getting fluff pieces in the New York Times. What is going on?
Is the New York Times proud? Is the New York Times proud? What's going on? Why are they proud? Hasan Piker of Twitch. He's a lover of who? Wait, what did Sky News Australia post me on? Oh, I love that. I love when Sky News Australia posts me. I love when I make it to the most honest and the most objective name in news. Sky News Australia. Why don't you say going bananas anymore? Because I don't go bananas anymore.
It's time for lefties.
Lefties losing it! Oh, lefties losing it!
Now, if the left didn't have double standards, they'd have no standards at all. And here is another prime example. This is Andrew
where is it? Where did was I in here, like over here?
Maggie is in a Box, a song about the late, great Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, no, not the song about the late, great Margaret Thatcher. Fucking hell. How dare you? Oh, they posted... Yo, let's go. Left media continues to push Trump lies. By the way, Sky News Australia is like Fox News on steroids, ironically owned by the same guy that owns Fox News, for the record, Rupert Murdoch, who is Australian, and this is his like main channel. This is Australian Fox News. So if you see like American libtards, American liberals who claim to be like progressive or whatever, championing this video, which they will, because they're fucking stupid and they have no principles, they have no perspectives whatsoever, they have no interest in learning, use this truly, utterly depraved, evil channel as a way to be like, see, even Australian Sky News knows the truth about Hasan. And let me tell you, it's because they're fucking stupid. But I, on the other hand, welcome the hatred from Sky News Australia. Let's go. Ooh, this is exciting. I didn't even realize they were doing it. The lefties losing it.
Watch a lot of Donald Trump coverage over the years. I've seen him give many speeches. I've seen him give many White House, Oval Office interviews. I genuinely, as someone who pays actually fairly close attention to men's sartorial choices when they are in high positions, I actually genuinely struggle to think of a single instance when Donald Trump is actually wearing a black suit. I'm genuinely just like thinking out loud here with you in real time here. I feel like the guy's always wearing a blue suit. I mean, Trump's go-to look. Anyone and
okay, blue suit.
Like,
he's always wearing a blue suit. Whatever.
It has an impact, particularly outside of the US, because the US, you do have a bit more diversity in the media, not as much as you would like to see, but there is counter narratives that are actually correcting some of this fake news. But in Australia and elsewhere in the world, it's almost all...
I love her. She's so stupid. I love her. Remember, this is the one that was like, oh no, lefties losing it. When the Australian pro-Palestinian HasanAbi came up to me and was like, or no, don't drink Coke. Before Coke was on the BDS list. Because as you guys know, once it made it onto the official Palestinian National Committee BDS list, I stopped drinking Coke. Hasan, I'm doing a linguistics project on content creators and pro-Palestinian content. Would you have time to do a survey at some point? If not, no worries. Probably not. All right.
All we get is just this relentless negative stuff, whether it's a serious issue like the colour of his suit at a funeral. Before you go, I want to get your opinion on this remarkable New York Times fluff piece that they've done on a character called Hasan Piker, a character they describe as a progressive mind in a MAGA body, because he works out. Apparently that makes him a MAGA body, but he's as bad as MAGA as I'm blonde. What he is, Josh, is virulent.
Remember, they are mad because they like MAGA, okay? Something that, because when you first see this, you're like, when you first see this, they're Australian. You don't understand. This is Sky News. You think maybe it's objective. No. Remember, this is like Australian Fox News. So, like, she's mad because the New York Times is doing a puff piece on a terrorist, myself, right? A fawning puff piece on it. And she's mad because MAGA is a good thing, and they're comparing me to a good thing, and that's what's up.
Anti-Israel.
Any kind Zionist tendency should be treated in the same way as being a rabid neo-Nazi, and you shouldn't even let someone be the local dog catcher as Felix was posting if they've ever exhibited any sort of like positive feelings about the state of Israel. I'm so serious about this. Yeah. I mean, yeah, what's the problem? Yeah, if you are pro-Israel, okay, and you're a politician and you're pro-Israel, then yeah, it's no different to me than being pro-Nazi Germany or pro-South Africa. What's the problem? What, you got an issue with that? What's the difference? Yeah, no, I love when they post things that I actually do mean rather than post shit out of context, because it triggers the autism in my brain where I'm like, no, you don't understand. You're misunderstanding me. It annoys me to no end. If you post, like when Fox News wrote that article about me, if you remember, when they were like, Hasan wants 9/11 to happen, I was annoyed because that's not what my statement was at all. But in that article, they also post some of the things that I say all the time and are objectively correct. Like when they said, when they posted about how I had said that like Israel is a far more evil entity than ever could be. When you post that and you get mad about that or whatever, I'm fine with that. You know what I mean? Like, that's okay, because that is my statement. And it's also objectively true. Like, try to address the argument instead of complaining about it, you know? But I hate it when they clip chimp and then they go, oh my God, like he said he loves when Palestinians are doing some shit. It's like, no, I never said that. You're a freak. Anyway, awesome.
Josh, he has a hugely popular show on Twitch where he unashamedly praises Houthi terrorists.
Sweetheart! Thank you for the 20 community gifted subs. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Spreads all sorts of propaganda. And now he's getting fluff pieces in the New York Times. What is going on?
It's the New York Times, bro. It's the New York Times, bro. What's going on? Why are they proud? Hasan Piker of Twitch. He's a lover of Houthis. He's a lover of... Oh, this is so awesome. Australia is such a fake country. I'm sorry that, like, when she's trying to be serious, it's impossible to take them seriously with that. That lady sounds like that, and she's trying to be, you know, dignified and serious and talk about the severity of the crisis at hand. You know what I mean? Also, this is pretty cool too. They just keep posting sexy ass photos of me. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Look at this. Look at this sexy. He loves some ass. He's hot. He's a hot dude. Stupid and sexy and pro. Oh, awesome. Oh, I love this.
Going on?
Well, I think what's going on is that someone who has literally made a name for himself as an apologist for Hamas, Houthis, Hezbollah, various other U.S. recognized foreign terrorist organizations. I mean, this is the guy who is now getting, you know, the page A1 full spread treatment from the New York Times, an organization.
He's like, why won't they write about me? I don't like it. Can you sue them for slander? What? Why would I fucking do that? What are you talking about, dude? Like, people being like, oh, I can't believe he's doing apologia for Hamas. Okay, dude. Yeah, sure. Who cares? Suck my dick. Okay. Ironically enough, I don't make any apologies for Hamas. I do actually call out things that I think are violent, things that I believe are atrocious. As a matter of fact, significantly more than pro-Israel people do on their side. Okay. I also do understand who the real the real villains are in this story. And that is and always will be Israel until they abolish the apartheid, of course, until they end the occupation. They do the same thing they do in the U.S., says this entertainment, not news. Yeah, also, I don't care about, you know, this is awesome. Yeah. Suing is soy. You care more about the prison colony than your neighbor to the north, L? Okay, stop.
That was probably best known for burying coverage of the Holocaust back towards the back of the paper for 3, 4, 5 years during World War II. The New York Times has a long and deeply inglorious track record.
I would say that the New York Times, first of all, burying the coverage of the Holocaust for 5 years is crazy during World War II. Like, I don't know if they were, that tuned in to the death camps that were taking place. But there is a live streamed Holocaust happening right now, and they do unironically bury the coverage of the live streamed Holocaust. So yeah, it's, if anything, in the argument that you're presenting, New York Times being consistent. They're like, we don't care. As long as it's state-sponsored violence, like, we're on board with it, okay? And we will do our very best to defend it. Barry Weiss, peace on you. He also calls Jews inbred, says doesn't matter if rape occurred on October 7th, and argues that Zionists should be treated like neo-Nazis. Essential by rights-coded FP. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, here we go. Crosshairs are back on me, baby. Let's go. Playing the fucking hits. Yeah. It's funny how the New York Times is a problem to them now that you're on it. No, they love shitting on the New York Times. They don't think New York Times is pro-Israel enough, which is crazy. Bovine Berry. I do want to read this. The handsome face of terror apologia. That's awesome. Once again, proving what I said, which is all of my haters can pick apart every single thing, but then they still call me handsome. What is this? What is this? What is going on, bro? Hello, baby. Hello, baby. Good girl. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, this is so funny. As a Jewish viewer, I can't believe it. I mean, Barry Weiss this is her whole shtick, so it's not surprising. The Islamophobia is so blatant in their photo choices. I mean, who cares? This is a fucking hot-ass photo. I don't give a shit. Hasan Piker has been called a model for the future of progressive media. He also calls Jews inbred and says Zionists should be treated like neo-Nazis. On Sunday, the New York Times ran a balancing profile on an online influencer who's made millions telling Gen Z that socialism rocks. His name is NOT HasanAbi Piker, and he has 2.8 million followers on the live stream platform Twitch, where he broadcasts live from his West Hollywood home for 8 hours every day, commenting on everything from the latest Supreme Court ruling to his workout regimen. The Times headline initially described him as a progressive mind and a MAGA body. It later changed to a progressive mind and a body made for the manosphere, and spilled much ink analyzing his sex appeal. A lot of people, I think, also are forgetting that the article was on the style section. Like, it's on the style section. I don't know why they're upset about that. Buried in the prose, the passing acknowledgement of a far darker side of Hasan Piker's appeal. His diatribes against the Zionist movement have led many supporters of Israel to call Mr. Piker anti-Semitic, the Times observes. And then it quotes Piker's response to his allegation. I find the conflation of anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism to be very dangerous. Before moving swiftly onto Piker's use of expletives and vulgarities. What exactly are Piker's diatribes against the Zionist movement? The glowing Times profile doesn't say. Perhaps readers will conclude he's simply fierce in his criticism of the current Israeli government. I am. That is not at all the case, because Piker records up to 10 hours a day and has done so for 5 years. It's hard to paint a comprehensive picture of his views, but even a cursory look at his work reveals a person who dismisses violence against Israelis, celebrates Islamist terrorists, and advocates for treating pro-Israel Americans as neo-Nazis. Doesn't matter if rapes happened on October 7th, Piker said, while live streaming. It doesn't change the dynamic for me. Apparently, not even the most brutal, inhumane crimes committed during Hamas' October 7th invasion of Israel could justify the Israeli military response, which he repeatedly refers to as an ethnic cleansing campaign. Oh, that's awesome. Oh my God. Oh my God. Amazing. They accidentally also showcased the framework. It's out of context, but they also, in their endless desire to present me as someone who is against Israel's ethnic cleansing campaign, have accidentally added on the actual point that I was making, which is that even if there were rapes that took place on October 7th, okay, this does not justify genocide against the entirety of the Palestinian population. That is a perfectly normal take. R.M. Brown talked about you a lot yesterday. Wait, what? Who is R.M. Brown? Anyway, just this week, he claimed on Twitch that in a totally just world, regardless of your background, any kind of fucking Zionist tendency should be treated in the same way as being a fucking rabid neo-Nazi. The vast majority of Jews identify as Zionists. He went on, you shouldn't even let someone be a fucking local dog catcher if they have exhibited any sort of... Okay, first of all, I gave credit to Felix, friend of the show, Felix Biederman, for this. I feel like it's fucked up that they took that context out because I didn't come up with that, okay? I did not come up with that. Felix did, which I was giving credit to, and it's kind of messed up that you're taking away his credit. That's really fucked up. Barry, don't do that. If they have exhibited any sort of positive feelings for the state of Israel. At the same time, Piker implies that acts of violence committed by Islamists are justified. On November 29, 2023, he described the attacks of October 7 as a retaliation for an ongoing apartheid. Again, thank you for posting that because it is correct. It is a retaliation for the ongoing apartheid. That is precisely what happened here. Parker doesn't only justify terrorism, sometimes he glorifies it. On December 20th, Parker played a Hamas propaganda video on his live stream audience of 25,000. In it, dramatic music plays a member of terrorist group Forge and Demo Guns. Title card reads, "We will continue to kill your soldiers by our locally manufactured snipers." Parker reads it out loud and then says, "Wow, there's a little message for the Americans out there as well." On January 2024, Houthi pirates seized a commercial ship in the Red Sea and took the crew hostage. Among the rebels was a 19... That's not true! This is fake. Rashid al-Haddad was not one of the rebels that overtook the commercial ship in the Red Sea. This is again, incredibly fucking annoying. Why is it incredibly annoying? Because I don't mind interviewing a fucking Houthi rebel, okay? I would interview a Houthi rebel, but he's not. So I hate that these guys always say he's a Houthi guy. He's a Houthi rebel. And it's not like no real outlet has referred to Rashid al-Haddad, whose last name is al-Haddad, not al-Houthi, by the way. Okay, important. Most likely Sunni and not a Zaidi Shia, regardless. Again, not a part of the Houthi family, not a part of the al-Houthi family, and not a part of the Ansar Allah militancy, regardless. But even if he was, I would still interview him. I thought he was initially. Not even Fox News has actually called him a Houthi, for the record. Time to interview an actual Houthi guy to fix this. Yeah, they're too busy. They probably hate me now because of Jackson Hinkle. Al-Haddad later denied affiliation with the Houthis. Piker tracked down Al-Haddad via social media and interviewed on a stream with the help of a translator. In the interview, Piker compared Al-Haddad to a pirate hero from the popular anime called One Piece. In a later stream on October 14, 2024, Piker likened Al-Haddad, who grew up in Yemen, to a victim of the Holocaust. For the most of his life, he's withstood genocide, Piker said, before saying that speaking to Al-Haddad was like talking. Later, in a now deleted tweet, Al-Haddad posted an image of a man impaled in the stake of the capture the execution that will carry out on all Zionists. On September 28, 2024, Piker shared what he called a music video, which was actually Houthi propaganda clip. In it, this is another instance where it's like, I don't mind showing these fucking music videos. I've shown these music videos. I've shown music videos of all fucking forms of militancy. We've literally fucking looked at ISIS videos as well on this broadcast. It's now become a problem, so I can't do it, but it's the only fucking website. This is the only website where they have a rigorous application of the terms of service. I do not have a issue looking at this music video, okay? I don't. I look at the American military's music videos all the fucking time, all right? It's all right. You can make fun of music videos that, like actual terror groups, not even like resistance against Israel. I'm talking... Yes, and you support ISIS? No, I don't. That's my point. I don't support the American militancy either. That's the whole point. I don't support Al-Qaeda. I don't support ISIS. I don't support the fucking Assad regime. But, you know, Allah Surya Assad is a fucking, what used to be a prominent fixture, right? Anyway, no one shits on Louis Theroux for interviewing Nazis. What on earth is wrong with these people? It's precisely because this person is not a Nazi that they are upset about it. That's the whole point. On September 28, 2024, Parker shared what he called a music video, which was actually a Houthi propaganda clip. In it, gun-toting Islamists sing a rallying cry to defeat the masses of infidels. They march over a burning American and Israeli flags and wave banners and blazon the Houthi credo, which translates to God is great, death to America, death to Israel, damn the Jews, victory to Islam. When the beat drops, it's like jihad drops in your heart, Piker said to an audience. Wait, why would they... Why would they post that in all sincerity? Dude, damn, that was fucking, I was funny as shit, dude. Sometimes I'm really funny, okay? I impress myself, okay? Listen, if no one's gonna laugh at my jokes, I'll laugh at my jokes. I don't give a fuck. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that is amazing. Wait, I gotta post this. Piker said to an audience of the Houthis, he said, they're a very musical people. This is fucking hilarious. Oh my God. I'm posting it. I like that. When the beat drops, it's like jihad drops in your heart. Bro, it's so lit whenever I'm watching ISIS beheading videos and you show up. Yeah, dude, I'm in the ISIS beheading videos. I'm a part of it. Would you interview a Zionist settler colonist? Yes, I would. It would be a contentious one. How would they feel if you interviewed a Kahanist who would espouse the views we saw throughout the Thoreau documentary? They would still call me an anti-Semite, as they're calling Louis Thoreau an anti-Semite now. And why are they calling him an anti-Semite? Because he interviewed some of the most rabid psychopaths. Like, that's what it is. That's what it is. That's the whole point. Yeah, if you show Israeli settlers behaving in the normal ways that they behave and let them talk, you're an anti-Semite. How dare you? Piker is stratospherically popular among Gen Z. The year that Hamas invaded Israel... Hamas invaded Israel. Piker was the fourth most watched American on Twitch, where 41% of users are between 16 and 24 years old. But his influence reaches far beyond the platform. Many of his live streams are clipped, recut, and soared to virality on other social media platforms, including YouTube, TikTok, and X. Where the Times gets it right is an assertion that the 33-year-old influencer is perceived as a savior of American progressivism. In an era where Democrats seem at a loss to counter the broy populism of the MAGA right, Piker used MAGA-coded activities of weightlifting and trips to the gun range. Ugh, I hate that. It is not MAGA-coded. To make socialist politics hip, courting an audience of young and very online men who have been drifting right. Yeah, God forbid I do that. God forbid I fucking pull young men away from the reactionary right wing attitudes. Oh man, how devastating! Remember, the Free Press is a right wing institution, so of course, when you read this, when you read that, you go, "What's the problem there?" When the Free Press audience reads that, they go, oh my God, that's really fucked up. We got to stop this guy. So remember, the things that you consider to be good and I consider to be good, they consider to be bad. The AOC of Twitch, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, being one of the only other Democrats to successfully wield social media and a model for the future of progressive media. In the past year alone, he's appeared on the DNC, as well as the left's favorite podcast, Pod Save America, and the tourist center, Bernie Sanders and AOC herself. He's also done an interview with Jon Stewart for The Daily Show, set to release in mid-May. That's not true. I didn't do an interview with Jon Stewart. What? They posted this? I'm on a... Wait. No, I didn't. God, these guys are so... Like, this is such a bad fucking... God, they are so bad at journalism. How fucking bad. I never said I'm getting interviewed by Jon Stewart. It's Jordan Klepper. Why don't you just post my post with Jordan Klepper? Why are you... Oh, God. He's also done an interview with Jon Stewart for The Daily Show. It's not correct. Oh, it's such bad journalism. Who wrote this garbage? They shouldn't have a job. I mean, I don't care. I love it. One of the Democrat strategists keen to get Piker more involved in the party was Brianna Wu in the run-up to last year's presidential election. Oh, this is a Zionist who's who, by the way. It was her job to reach out young voters, and she saw how Piker connected with them. So she began brainstorming on how to ways to get him plugged in with Democratic campaigns. But her enthusiasm for Piker quickly faded when she saw him broadcast terrorist propaganda on his Twitch live stream. The more you understand about what he's actually saying, she told the Free Press, you realize he's actually terrible for the country. Yeah, except her fucking organization still sucked my dick to the very last end, and I refused to work with the organization because that dumbass Brianna Wu was leading the fucking charge. So just remember, when these guys are lying like this, okay, it is I who said I will not work with Progressive Victory. And it was almost entirely because of Brianna Wu and her involvement, because I was like, she has terrible instincts, she's fucking absolute dog shit, and she is perhaps the stupidest Hosberist out there. No, there was a point where she liked me. But then she got, as a 50-year-old lady, she got brain broken into being pro-Israel by a very notorious sex pest who she also actively worked with Progressive Victory. That's right. I'm talking about sex pestiny. Yes, post-October 7, Brianna Wu developed a new version of herself where she decided to be pro-Israel. That gave us a lot of wonderful moments, like when she said the Houthinis. He is part of this push to brainwash America's young people into thinking the enemies of democracy are actually our friends, Wu said. If you're asking yourself who's talking to your children on the left, it's Hasan and Hasan's orbiters, which is fairly terrifying. In Piker's Reddit community, fans admit that Hasan has radicalized them, brag about convincing family members that Israel's committing a genocide in Gaza. Why? This is a puff piece that is unironically better than the New York Times' puff piece. Because the New York Times cannot fucking openly say the things that I'm saying because their editorial team's position is different, right? So they have to say Hasan Piker accuses Israel of doing a genocide. These guys will posterize my fucking dubs actively because they know that their audience already has that mentality. It's the same with Fox News, right? Many young people seem to draw their rhetoric directly from Piker and the militant anti-Zionism he constantly promotes on his channel. Take the word inbred, which anti-Israel activists have repeatedly used on college campuses to refer to their Jewish peers during the heated confrontations. Piker first referred to Israelis as inbred in March of 2024. Just 1 month later, first instance of use of Jewish students being called inbred at a pro-Palestine campus protest was recorded. By the way, I might actually go like the free press has a lot of motion among some of the most insane right-wing billionaires. Like this is Peter Thiel's institution and stuff. So this kind of article, this kind of posting is somewhat dangerous in terms of like getting me in front of the crosshairs of the federal government. Like remember, Barry Weiss was able to get a famous Palestinian academic assassinated in Gaza alongside his entire family. Refat, rest in power. So, that's they do have a lot more motion with the government. So, and as you know, Donald Trump does love sucking up to any kind of pro-Israeli group out there. So who knows? Hold on. Let me get apolitical real quick. Does this warrant legal action? No, not at all. Just 1 month later, the first instance of Jewish students being called inbred at a pro-Palestine Columbia University told a group of Jewish students, you guys are all inbred. Following the Columbia incident, Piker showed a news clip to his live stream of the two Jewish students recalling hateful remarks on air, which he burst into laughter. I mean, that's awesome. Wait, is this it?
Mob started chasing us, calling us in the middle of campus, calling us inbred, that we have no culture. One of them grabbed my friend's Israeli flag in the middle of campus, carried it to a mob by the gate that were communicating with the angry mobs outside of campus. They threw hard objects at him. They started harassing him. They tried to light his flag on fire, and nothing is done with this. And after that, on the way out, we were talking to public.
Wait. Oh my God. They URL. They got this directly from the sex pest. Ain't no way. They're straight sourcing from the fucking sex pest's own goddamn website. Oh, hell nah. Oh, that's awesome. You're laughing. He's distressed and you're laughing, Hank. I know. Well, excuse me, sir. Who do you think convinced him to write this article, dog? I mean, it's awesome. I don't have issues with this article.
And public safety just shrugged their shoulders.
Isn't it funny how anytime someone's interviewed about how violent these protesters are, there's always someone who almost was hurt? Yeah. Wait, great. They even posted that point. Oh, that's awesome. Bro, this isn't even evidence that it happened. It's a random guy on TV doing the classic, trust me, bro. No, I know. No, they're not even saying it happened. They're saying it almost happened, and it was scary. You weren't there for the backpack theft in Michigan? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm an apolitical streamer. Piker himself is aware of his influence on young people. In November, he posted a news article that rise in pro-Hamas sentiment among Jewish American teenagers in his Discord server with the comments, I did this. Oh, I thought I actually posted this on Twitter. 1/3 of Jewish American teens say they sympathize with Hamas. Israeli government poll shows. How did Piker build such a massive following? Born in New Brunswick, New Jersey, grew up in Turkey. His upbringing was Muslim, but he said he doesn't practice their religion. After graduating, he interned at the Young Turks, a left-wing news outlet founded by his uncle, where he launched a breakdown of a web series examining political issues, quickly gained viral fame. In 2018, he started streaming on Twitch, a YouTube-like platform where content creators record themselves reacting live to anything from video games, tournaments, to breaking news. There, Piker soon learned that siding with radical Islam is gaining America was a good way to get a lot of attention. In 2019, he went viral for saying on his Twitch stream that America deserved 9/11. Piker later clarified while the nearly 3,000 innocent people who were murdered on September 11 did not deserve their fate, he believed the CIA's role in the formation of Al-Qaeda made the attack an example of America's chickens coming home to roost. Oh, that's cool. They actually posted the full take. Respect. Why did you make these Jewish American teens anti-Semitic? Hell yeah, baby. Libophonics. You hear that? You got to mention in there. That's me. But also, for the record, I do want to mention something. That part is actually true. Like, this is the major issue for them, okay? The major issue for them is, like, I don't know who made this poll. I don't know how valid this poll is. But, like, the Israeli government's poll, survey shows 66% of Jewish teens in the U.S. say they sympathize with the Palestinian people, right? Like, that is what they're frustrated by. Because Candace Owens, Dan Bilzerian, Andrew Tate, Fed and Fat, like those guys are very clearly anti-Semitic, right? So those guys are not going to be able to penetrate through the Zionist propaganda that is baked into the consciousness of young American Jews and young American Christians as well, but especially young American Jews from an early age, from going to Jewish camp and, you know, learning about how Israel was a land without people for a people without land, and all this kind of like ahistorical, revisionist, pro-Israel propaganda. So, no young Jewish American boy or girl is gonna fucking hear Candace Owens talk about the Talmud and be like, "Oh my God, this person is actually genuinely against Israel's." No, of course not. But someone like myself, who has made a name for himself combating anti-Semitism on every fucking platform that I'm on for years and years and years, and still continues to do so, who creates a safe space for Jews in general, especially someone who has a younger audience in general, yeah, I'm a real fucking threat to the project. I'm a real threat to the Zionist project. Much more of a real threat to the Zionist project in terms of causing instability by allowing young Jews to understand the fucking truth in a space that is not anti-Semitic. Do you understand? That is part of the reason why, yeah, of course I have a ton of Jews in this community. Of course. So that is the whole point. Like, that is the reason why this is seen as I am seen as like a big threat. Because if I was anti-Semitic, if I actually was anti-Semitic and cared more about making an argument against Jews in general, instead of constantly attacking the false conflation between Judaism and an apartheid state doing a fucking genocide, then yeah, I wouldn't be as big as a threat, because these guys actually, like, people who care about the Zionist project in general, they want anti-Semitism to increase in the West, because when anti-Semitism increases in the West, you can consistently hammer on the argument that, like, Israel has to be strong. You have to constantly defend Israel. You have to go to Israel. You have to live in Israel. You have to do birthright. Like, that is that plays a major role. That's why I always say the greatest threat to Israel's existence is not Iran, it's not Hezbollah, it's not Hamas. The greatest threat to Israel is Sherman Oaks. The greatest threat to Israel is Beverly Hills. The greatest threat to Israel is Boca Raton. The greatest threat to Israel is Brooklyn, where Jews can live freely and should be able to live freely without any sort of real fear of persecution or prosecution. Do you understand? So yeah, that is the real fear, because if Jews were like, yo, fuck this, I'm out of here, this place sucks, about Israel, and then they fucking moved to the United States of America, then the Zionist project is gone. I'm Jewish and I'm so glad I didn't do birthright. I can't imagine the type of person I'd be today if I did. I mean, not everyone that goes on birthright becomes a rabid Zionist in general. There are plenty of people who did go on birthright and were like, yo, this shit sucks. Sam Cedar is a good example of this. Matt Lieb is another good example of this, right? Adam Friedland is another good example of this. Noah Colwyn. Basically, all of the people that I have collaborated with. There was a point in time when I thought Ethan Klein was a good example of this, and boy, was I wrong. Anyway, Piker soon learned that siding with radical Islamists against America was a good way to get attention. I love this, by the way. Yeah, you know who's really popular in American political discourse? Radical Islamists who are anti-America. What fucking crack are you smoking on? All right. His success on Twitch meant he could quit the Young Turks and stream full-time, which he did beginning January 2020. A 2021 Twitch leak revealed that he earned $2.8 million from streaming between 2019 and 2021. His West Hollywood home is worth $2.7 million, and he drives a Porsche Taycan, which he bought for $200,000. Leased it. Fine. But Piker's rise isn't just a story of a young man. Yeah, I'm fucking caked up. I'm hot and caked up. Thank you for owning me in the marketplace of ideas, by the way. This is also, again, incredibly stupid. But Piker's rise isn't just a story of a young man realizing he can get rich by telling young Americans to hate their country and love their enemies. This is a story of a platform that lets him promote it. Twitch's 61-year-old Dan Clancy is an apparent fan of Piker. In an interview with Bloomberg in April 2023, Clancy said he appreciates the streamer's frankness and bluntness. He's comfortable saying what he believes, he added. Clancy, who's worked at Twitch since 2019 and served as CEO since the March of 2023, has come under fire for his company's stance on Israel, blah, 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 blah. And then the rest of it is just like all the bullshit that the peers tried to implement and tried to do a adpocalypse, but failed to do. More recently, in October 2024, Democratic Representative Richie Torres wrote an open letter to Clancy. Richie Torres wrote an open letter to Clancy expressing explicit concerns about Twitch's tolerance and extreme anti-Semitic rhetoric. Hasan Piker has emerged as the poster child for the post-October 7th outbreak of anti-Semitism in America, Torres wrote, arguing that the influencer's channel merits scrutiny from federal law enforcement and that the time has come for Twitch to stop popularizing those who popularize anti-Semitism. In an official statement issued 3 days later, Clancy said there is no place on Twitch for racism, hatred, or harassment of any kind, including anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. Piker's account remained live. Yeah, I wonder why. That is because I don't do those things. I actually fight against those things, no matter how much you try to fucking claim I do. Notice how you can't actually fucking pin me down on a moment where I'm saying like Jews do this or Jews do that. That's because I don't believe that. That's because I actively argue against people who say dumb fuck shit like that. A big part of what I do is to tackle people who are misinforming others. It's a giant part of this process. This is 10,000% too much inside baseball to be written by a real journalist. I mean, yeah, this is the free press. This is not a real journalistic outlet, as you guys might have noticed, but it's awesome regardless. A couple of months later, the virtual town hall Clancy hosted. Do you plan on addressing the anti-Semitism problem? Why do you not ban streamers that show terror propaganda? Do you not care to comment about the ADL anti-Semitism? Twitch offered no answers. Each of the accounts that asked these questions were reportedly banned within a minute. In a statement, Clancy said, the views shared by streamers on Twitch are not the views of Twitch, nor they are my personal views. But there are those in senior positions at Twitch who have expressed strong anti-Israel sentiment. Then they go after like random fucking people that work at Twitch. This is all Dan Saltman. This is what they did. They like went and they fucking doxed a bunch of people that work at Twitch. It's so funny that the Hasbara operation over at Free Press is just like directly writing this stuff. Again, all of this is like old shit that they're trying to revitalize. It's not going to work. You can't convince me to support genocide. The platform head of community marketing, Mayor Kish, responded to a post on X that said, I'm also saddened that while you rightfully shared the devastation in Gaza multiple times, you didn't once comment on the fact that Hamas literally murdered babies and have over 200 hostages. Kish replied, you can't convince me to support genocide. Wow, I can't believe that a person with a clear conscience said, you can't convince me to support genocide. And Twitch Senior Trust and Safety Manager Fadzai Madzingira enforces policy on violence, extremism, and youth safety. Before working at Twitch, she was fired from her post as Director of Online Safety at Ofcom, UK independent telecom regulator, allegedly for anti-Israel social media activity, including liking an Instagram post which called the United Kingdom's support of Israel a vile colonial alliance. Oh my God, I can't believe that she was fired for being correct. Once again, fired for a correct position. Fired for a correct position that is shared by many, that is shared by the majority, okay? She wasn't fired? Oh, what happened? Did she quit? Ofcom Online Safety Director suspended over anti-Israel post. I mean, who cares? Okay, suspended, fired. Who gives a shit? Kira Matang, Kish, and Madzingira did not respond to requests for comments. When reached for comment, Clancy advised the Free Press to contact Twitch's press office, who did not respond to a request for comment. Unsatisfied with Twitch's failure to address the rise in anti-Semitism, video creators have used their platforms to raise awareness. YouTuber Willie Mack. Hasan is not anti-Semitic, Mack told the Free Press. But right now, with the current political climate and conditions of problems going on in the world, he's completely okay with harboring that audience and that sentiment. Oh, interesting. Willie Mack. Dan Saltman, a Jewish tech entrepreneur and political YouTuber, disagrees. He believes Hasan Piker is anti-Semitic. And Clancy has his head in the sand about allegations of anti-Semitism on Twitch. Saltman stumbled across Piker's live stream a few years ago and grew concerned about Twitch when he saw, wait, no, that he didn't stumble across my live stream a few years ago. He's just fucking lying. I like that this is the narrative. Dan Diddy Man wrote this to shout out himself and all his friends. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Wait, why don't they get a quote from Sex Pestiny? Yeah, he was on my stream. Dan Saltman grew concerned about Twitch when he saw a clip from Clancy. The platform, he decided to launch a website to track Jew hate on Twitch. Hasan is the #1 cause of normalizing the hatred towards Jews, Saltman told the Free Press. Saltman himself was banned from Twitch and demanding Clancy step down as CEO. Like any propagandist, Hasan will keep pushing the line to keep growing and trying to get more and more traction and traffic and popularity as long as the platform is not willing to do anything to stop him. It's just so insidious, so evil, the way that Twitch operates, pushing Hasan and that type of content down young people's throats, Saltman added. I don't want my kids to grow up hating themselves because Hasan wants to have another mansion in LA and become more popular. Bro, this is literally anti-CRT shit from reactionary conservatives, by the way. I don't want my kids to grow up learning about how bad slavery was. We must stop teaching slavery in schools is unironically the exact same argument that he is making here, because defending Israel, a violent, rabid apartheid state, a settler colonial state that is built around a fascist ideology that is exterminationist in principle and ethno-religious supremacist, saying the truth about that is going to make people feel bad. Okay? It's going to make my children feel bad about themselves. I'm back. Calm down. Thought they nuked you? Nah, I'm here. Minor F, little baby F. It happens. Yeah, don't worry. I got my apolitical hat on. It's protecting me. It's preserving me. It's keeping me alive. All right, let's keep going. Twitch legitimized Piker and now the mainstream media is celebrating him. Yesterday, I reached out to Representative Torres to ask him whether he'd seen the recent profile. He replied with a blistering assessment. The mainstream media's lionization of Hasan Piker exposes just how deeply anti-Semitism is permeated in American culture, Torres said. You could deny the rapes and sexual violence of October 7th and still receive a flattering profile from the New York Times celebrating your iron-pumping masculinity. But amid all the descriptions of Piker's attractiveness and all the photos that back it up, the Times lets something small yet grimly revealing slip into its profile of the streamer. One of the images shows Piker's monitor during his live streams. If you zoom in, you can see a comment from a Twitch user referring to an Israeli Defense Force soldier. I'd fuck this IDF bitch up to death and make his mother shove missiles up her ass. The Times has since updated the photo with the comment cropped out of the picture. Piker did not respond to a request for comment. First of all, they never gave me a request for comment. I didn't see it. I would have probably not commented. But yeah, you know what's ironic about this, by the way? This is like the thing that they try to make a big deal about. This person insta-clapped. Like, this is yet another great example of how fucking fast our moderation is. Okay? Yes, I have a follower limit of usually 10 minutes. If you follow me for 10 minutes, you can speak in this chat. The reason why I do that is because unlike the Free Press from Bovine Berry, I actually do believe in open discourse. Okay? Not only has this account been suspended and deactivated or banned off the platform in general, but we banned him instantly, and they instantly got fucking banned. You understand? That type of sentiment is completely not allowed. So, my point is, the ironic thing that the story already highlights the fact that you ban people out of line. It was an actual pull quote. Yeah. So this is another push from like all of the ridiculous like Zionist publications that will do everything they can to just be like, you know, Hasan is anti-Semitic, Hasan is anti-Semitic, Hasan is anti-Semitic. Please get him banned. Please get him banned. Please get him banned. It happens. The reason why it happens is because whenever this kind of profile happens in a place like the New York Times, like these guys will go up in arms. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. And the reason why it doesn't matter is because these aren't like serious newspapers. It's the same principle behind like Richie Torres is the only guy that they can get motion out of, because Richie Torres is an unserious person. Everybody understands that Richie Torres is an unserious person. Do you know what I mean? So like this is no different than the previous hit pieces that have been written in a bunch of these other places, or even Fox News. Like Fox News is the only the only real legacy publisher they've been able to get motion with, but it doesn't matter. It like literally, I see it as praise. When Sky News talks about how scary I am and says like, this guy hates Israel, how dare he? I see this as praise. I see this as free PR. Because yeah, I do hate the apartheid state of Israel. I hate apartheid. I hate genocide. Every human being with a brain and a moral compass should also feel the same fucking way. It is actually more damning that you still, at this stage, continue to defend an apartheid state currently doing a genocide. So, sucks to suck, you know? Yeah, I do. Yeah, fuck Israel, free Palestine is correct. I don't give a shit. You can cry about it, you can complain about it. But remember, there is a double standard, of course, okay? Because the things that Israel actually does, okay, or the things that America actually does, if any other foreign adversary were to engage in, or even if any other foreign adversary were to do a fraction, okay, a fraction of the evil, and plenty have, right? Russia is a great example of this. If you were to say this about Russia, if you were to say, fuck Russia, free Ukraine, that's an understandable position. No one will get mad at you for that. Okay? Would you say in their minds people support Israel because they want their own countries to work like Israel? I think some people do that. Yes. Some people support for Israel comes. We do Israel shit. Okay? John Brown's Holy Ghost, thank you for the 10 gifted subs.
When it comes to these particular issues, this particular individual, Hasan Piker, is so toxic that after AOC of all people went on his show one point last year, she kind of did a quasi mea culpa when she was asked about it. She was like, "Oh, I didn't know his views were actually that radical." So,
what do you mean? I've literally collaborated with AOC multiple times since then. These are not radical views, bitch. These are literally the Democratic majority views. Okay, not only is it that 80% of the Democratic Party's base believes that Israel needs to stop doing a fucking genocide, okay? But also on top of that, there is a majority unfavorability against Israel right now by all Americans, in spite of the unlimited amount of propaganda that tries to justify Israel's incredibly violent actions. The majority of American Jews also agree with this. So you can't look. You can't put the toothpaste back in the fucking tube. You can try. You can keep yelling at people who speak out against this consistently, but the truth will not change. The reality will not change. And people's perception of Israel is understandably forever scarred. Scarred by what, mind you? Scarred by the truth. Because people actually started recognizing what the fuck Israel was doing. That's it. That's it. You can keep crying all day, every day. You can fucking jail me. You can try to get me banned from platforms. You can try to silence me. But you can't change the truth. Okay? That's it. I go away, there's going to be another person out there, okay? I go away, there's going to be another person that also takes up the mantle. Because I'm not individually able to hypnotize tens of thousands of people. I don't have like a special charisma power to be able to melt the minds of the youth, okay? All I'm doing is showing the truth. That's it. And you can't fucking stop the truth. You can try to silence it as best as you can. You can try to silence the opposition to the best of your ability. But ultimately, this is not just one person's doing. I am not foolish enough to assume that it is actually my awesome power that has been able to fucking convince so many people. That's it.
I mean, this guy has really made a name for himself there. So for him to get the full New York Times treatment there, that says a lot, frankly, about the New York Times. But for those of us who pay close attention there, this tragically is what the New York Times has been for a very long time.
Yeah. But that's what's so funny about this entire process is that, like, people, it's ironic. They'll turn around and talk about, like, how hot I am in a way to try and figure out, like, what's the reason why this guy is able to penetrate the consciousness of so many young men at a time when it seems like the Democratic Party has completely lost their power. They lost their motion. They lost their juice. Oh, it must be because he's hot. It must be because he fucking works out. And it's like, no, those are things that I organically care about. Those are things that I want my audience to do as well. Okay, for sure. But that's not the reason why I've been able to reach this level of success. The reason why I've been able to reach this level of success is because there are a lot of people like yourselves in this fucking chat. They go, oh my God, there's another person that feels the way that I do. Finally, someone is fucking voicing the concerns that I've had. This makes a lot more sense. It's not because I'm attractive. Okay. Yes, that plays a role in this for sure. It's not because I work out. It's because I'm saying how many of you feel. That's it. It's that simple. Bro, be real. If you were ugly, you wouldn't have 1/4 of the viewers you have right now. Oh my God, dude, I am not discounting. Oh, why do all my fucking haters constantly say I'm sexy? Jesus Christ, dude. Yes, dude. Yes, I'm sexy. I'm hot. I'm rich. Oh my God. This is not a fucking own. I told him not to do it because it's so stupid and dated. Basically, only this community will get this silly bullshit law. What is this? David Sirota. I'm in the Lotus feeling like David Sirota.
Don't look up was legit.
Oh my God, Andrew. This is...